I was in the middle of recording my review for John Romero's autobiography, Doom Guy, Life in First Person, until I came to the realization that I wasn't ripping and tearing into the book like I said I was going to. In fact, I was giving it mild praise for a book I was having a bit of a tough time reading through. I didn't hate the book, but the book was bloated with so much unimportant information that I wasn't as interested in the book as I thought I would be. Romero briefly mentions his hyperthymesia as a way to say, "Trust me, everything I say is absolutely true." I didn't question anything yet, but if an autobiography starts with something along those lines, I'm going to take things with a grain of salt. The book came out in July 2023, almost a year after Lex Friedman's interview with John Carmack. I know nothing about the time it takes to have a book published, but the timing feels like Carmack got some sizable attention, and Romero, being the gaming rock star that he is, published this book as sort of a "what about me? I have stuff to say" kind of feel to it. Zealous fans of Romero who think they know everything there is to know about Romero will probably want to read this book, as much more personal detail is involved. If you're looking for a more streamlined biography about Romero, look elsewhere. Romero's book is bloated with personal information that anything less than deep interest is going to make reading this book feel like a major slog. I don't hate Romero, I just hate the stupid shit he does, like making guns that kill you, or use leaky radiation suits. As I finished making this video, I began to ask myself, what is the point of this book? And what was my perception of the book? Remembering that I was quite bored reading the book, I decided to go back to the library and give it a second read through. I was trying to be spoiler free, but going spoiler free is rather boring, so here goes. Romero says he wrote this book because, and I'm paraphrasing, everyone already knows the main stuff like Doom and Quake, and he wanted to write a book about what got him into developing video games. Stories that have yet to be told on a convention panel or at a paid speech appearance, which, given everything that he talks about that happened in his personal life, Romero barely touches upon. Instead of being about how Romero got into video games and became a programmer, Romero talks about seemingly unimportant information about his family, random seemingly unimportant information about his interactions with other non-programmers in his industry, and his recollections of times in Soft Disk, id, and Ion Storm. I say seemingly unimportant because I didn't see the importance of it, especially pertaining to his "I wrote all the things that got me into video game programming" goal. History is often unkind to the perceived losers of the time. I say perceived losers because Romero was kind of ahead of his time with Daikatana. If his game came out, let's say 10 years ago, all the flaws could have been forgiven with some day one patches and constant fidgeting and tweaking until the game was finally the magnum opus that Romero wanted it to be. There's a lot of videos online of why is Daikatana so terrible, and Daikatana, most terrible game on the face of existence. I mean, if you just YouTube search Daikatana, you could probably find 5 videos at the very top saying how bad the game is. I feel like Romero's autobiography was a "let me correct the record" kind of deal, because after Daikatana, it seems like Romero does nothing but comfortably rest on the laurels, basking in the glow of his former glory days of Doom. His website, Romero.com, definitely highlights that. I'm not knocking him for it, but Carmack was working on the metaverse, while Romero has stagnated in his programming skill. Just saying. Sorry if it sounds like I'm ripping on Romero, but that's just my perception and my opinion. If you got this far in the video and appreciated my efforts, please type "I blame Romero" in the comments.